Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where I help you build the most unforgettable life by being your own boss and making your own money so that way you can actually live life. Now, today's video, I really want to talk about how I overcame so many failures and how I overcame so much shame that came with trying and then failing and then trying again and then failing and then getting back up, doing it again, and then succeeding. I feel like so many times people are trying to achieve a certain goal or a certain milestone or thing in their life, but from the failures and the trial and the errors, they hold so much shame, and they carry so much of that fear and doubt and shame and failures, where they can't ever get to the next level because all they're thinking about is the shame that they have felt from failing. So I really want to share kind of my story of how I overcame so much shame and really forgave myself for certain things that happened in the past, where in reality I couldn't really even control because I was just trying to figure things out, and I didn't want that to really just shape my future and what I wanted to create for myself. So whoever is watching, whether you're wanting to once again start your own business, make your own money, maybe it's finding a relationship that you absolutely love, or you're trying to get in the perfect shape of your body and you're trying to be more healthy, but for some reason you just keep either failing at it or you keep starting over from it. Now, one thing I want to share that I really struggled with years ago was just being really confident in myself and who I am. In high school, I used to get bullied a lot from other people, where I was just so skinny and I didn't really fit in because I'm Indian, I have black hair, and I was really shy and really introverted. So I just felt like I never fit in with other people and the popular cliques in high school. So when I went into college, I gained a lot of confidence because I really just blossomed into becoming my own person and my own individual. And one thing that I really learned through that entire process was, for us to actually get to where we want to go in our life, it's not necessarily about the perfect path that gets us there, but it's more about the confidence and the security we feel in ourselves as we get there. And understanding that has allowed me to let go of things that I cannot even control, because how many times do we carry on the shame and the burden of something that has happened in the past, and we're trying to bring that into the future. And one thing that I want to share with you guys, of course, my channel is mainly about business and making money and building your personal brand. But one thing that I really had to work through was finding and having a very healthy relationship. So you guys know my boyfriend Andy. Prior to that, I had always been in bad and toxic relationships, where I always felt like I had to be perfect, or I had to act a certain way. I couldn't really be myself or be vulnerable because I had the fear that, my exes were gonna leave me for somebody else, whatever. I just felt so insecure in those relationships. And I remember when I met Andy, he was the perfect guy, and he was so just healthy, so open, great at communication, that honestly scared me, because I'm okay, why are you being so nice? It just did not make sense, considering I had always dated guys who were just not it. They're just not it. They did not know how to be in a good, loving, healthy relationship, because in reality they're just insecure about themselves, which is why they're being so bad to me. Anyways, long story short, I realized that I was carrying so much shame and guilt from prior relationships that I couldn't even open up myself to Andy and see that this was actually a really good relationship. So that was something that I really had to work through, and honestly even forgive myself, because there would be certain times and certain situations where we would fight and I would just want to leave, and I didn't even want to have the conversation and confront anything that was happening, because it was really uncomfortable for me. So this entire thing, when it comes to really forgiving yourself for certain things that you've either done in the past or certain things that you've experienced that now that you kind of carry on with you, it feels kind of a weight is taken off your shoulders. Something that I love to think about is, if you're carrying a suitcase, and or even just a briefcase or even a backpack. Let's go with a backpack. It's easier to visualize. So let's say you're carrying a backpack and it's filled with all of the failures and all of the shame and all of like the insecurities and all of the hiding and like the fear and the doubt and like the humility that you've had and experienced in the past, it's really hard to carry that backpack and go forward and move forward into something new in the future that you want. And of course, I work with a lot of creators and business owners and entrepreneurs, and I see this happening a lot when it comes to really expressing themselves on social media. They have a prior experience where maybe, you know, they were made fun of, or they feel like they don't fit in, or they can't like talk properly, they sound different. And it's hard for them to show up on social media because they feel really insecure about themselves and how they look, right? But if we're just carrying along in the backpack all the past and trauma, like traumatizing things that happened, it's really hard for us to do something in the future that we actually really, really want. So, and this is how my long-winded like welcome and introduction, this is how to actually let go of the previous in the past like trauma and the failures, and honestly just like forgive yourself so you can actually start fresh and live a life that you were meant to actually live. So the first thing that you want to do is bring awareness to what are you actually carrying in your backpack. I know for me, when I wanted to build and scale my business, I felt like I had a lot of shame around like money and making money, because I was raised in a family and a household where like money doesn't grow on trees, like money is like the root cause of evil, like you shouldn't really be talking about money, it's like a really taboo subject. So for me and my nature of work, the business that I have now, it's all about talking about money and building a personal brand and helping other people, and it's just so natural to me now. But like when I was just getting started, I knew I had to talk about money, but I had so much shame around it. So every time I would get on social media and try to post, there was some sort of like resistance because there is this shame. So I had to first bring awareness around, okay, like what am I so afraid of? What is like the shame around it, and how can I like really let go of it? So the first step is like bringing awareness to what are you feeling like shameful of. And then the second step is actually, before you even let go of it, I love to shift my perspective on it. So for an example, so since I had this like belief and this shame around money that I feel like internally I felt like I wasn't worthy of receiving that money because I thought money was bad. Even though I wanted so much of it, I just thought it was bad because of all the conditioning that I had like growing up. So what I really had to do was shift the perspective about money. Now, in order for me to like receive and make money, of course, I was selling my own products on social media because I had my own business. So I really had to look at, I'm not taking people's money, I'm providing them with something of value that could be the solution to their problem. So like, if you logically look at it, it would actually be a disgrace for me to not sell my products and my offers, because then I'm not helping these people, right? And of course, like sales and making money is just the exchange of good. So when I shifted that perspective from like, oh, money is bad, you shouldn't be taking money from people and charging people, I shifted it from, I have a product that's really going to help those people. And in order for them to actually get it, and in order for them to actually use what's in the product, they also have to see it of value. And basically all the value that we see in a product is based on the actual like price point of it and like the tangible value that we put to that basically product, right? So for me, once I realized that and once I shifted that perspective, it was so much easier for me to sell it and for me to build now a multi-six-figure business, right? So once again, like first step, bringing awareness to what like you're carrying in your backpack. Second step is shifting that perspective around it. And then like the third and final step, I'm gonna make it like super straightforward, is honestly just like taking it out of your backpack and letting it go. And I sometimes love to like visualize myself doing this. If I'm doing like personal development or like mindset work, I will literally close my eyes and visualize myself. And I'll kind of even put like the shame or the failure or the insecurity, I'll imagine it as an object in my backpack. So even if it's like, I don't know, like something random, like if it's like a mirror or like a phone or a camera, a pencil, like literally anything that comes to mind, like I will visualize myself looking inside my backpack. I'm gonna close my eyes and do it. Looking inside my backpack, picking up the item, looking at it as what it is, which would mainly be like the insecurity or the failure or the belief that I had around money. And then I'd take it out of my backpack and I would literally just like fling it across the room. Like I would let it go. And then physically and like visually, I could see that in that backpack, it's not there anymore. So now that I have done that for myself, when I go forward in my day and I do something different, if I do want to record a piece of content or a YouTube video or talk to somebody, I'm no longer carrying that shame or that belief around money anymore. It's just like not a thing. And this entire process you can do for literally anything, like anything. Even if you did something that you personally weren't like a fan of, if you got in a fight with your friend and you said something mean and you've been carrying like the shame for that, you can still use this process and like let go of that. And I think that's why it's so beautiful, because this is one of the reasons why it's so difficult for people to reach their goals and live the life that they want, because they're carrying so much shame, they're carrying so much trauma, and they're not really forgiving themselves of it, and they're not letting go of it. Like, it's one thing to let go of it, but if you don't forgive yourself for it, then it's still going to be stuck with you. Okay. So I want all of you to comment below and let us know, let me know what you are letting go of and what you are forgiving yourself for. So that way you can actually move forward in your life and have the dream relationship, have the dream business, have the dream bank account, the dream house, like basically like the dream life, because you deserve it. That is all for today. I wanted this to be super short, sweet, to the point, so that way you can let go, forgive yourself, and move forward to build the most unforgettable life. I love you all so much, and until next time, make sure that you stay unforgettable.